Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cricket Talks. I'm joined by Naresh, who is a freelance cricket commentator and analyst, to talk all about the T20 World Cup and the main cricket events coming up this week. Thanks for joining, Naresh.
Thanks, Ethan. Glad to be here. Very excited to have a chat with you.
Let's get straight into it. Could you give me your top four predictions for this T20 World Cup and why?
Very tough one because how the groups are placed. From Group 1, I would still go with England and West Indies, purely because they were the finalists in the last edition. They have a very, very good T20 teams. West Indies especially is coming in, I would say, the most prepared team. After the first leg of IPL got called off, they had Australia, South Africa, and Pakistan visit them for T20 series. So they are well prepared. Recent CPL, very competitive games, and most of their players are in form. And quite a few of them participated in the second leg of IPL. So West Indies do start off as favorites to defend the title. England, obviously, since 2015, we have seen the turn on the white ball side of the game. Very focused, good side. Ben Stokes would be missed. I would see that as an area of concern because a finisher in the middle is what they are missing in Ben Stokes. Otherwise, a well-rounded team, very, very powerful batting lineup. So these two from Group 1. Group 2, obviously, India start off as favorites purely as the host nation, familiar to the Asian conditions. The players have played the IPL recently in these conditions. So India is one team. Second team could be, there are many who would fight for that. Pakistan themselves, they are a very dangerous side. UAE is actually their home when they were not playing at home for a decade. They're very familiar. They have a young new side too, a young captain in Babar Azam, who's probably now the leading scorer in T20 format. And you can't rule out New Zealand. Yes, they struggle in Asian conditions, but they are another phenomenal white ball side. You cannot rule them out. So it's actually a tough group. Group 2 is tough. Group 1, yeah, you can say South Africa, Australia can cause some surprises. But again, Australia not played as a unit together for long. They had a very different side going for West Indies and Bangladesh too. 7 of them have made a comeback for World Cup. So that is one area they need to quickly get back to. But my 4 teams, you asked me, England, West Indies, India, Pakistan.
Just before we do the group predictions, to give you a quick run through on how Group A and B works. The T20 World Cup starts with 2 groups of the nations below the top 8, which are Group A, Sri Lanka, Ireland, Netherlands, Namibia. Group B, Bangladesh, Scotland, Papua New Guinea, Oman. The top 2 teams separately from each Group A and Group B will qualify for Group 1 and 2. The top 8 T20 nations in the world have automatically qualified for Group 1 and 2 already. Which teams in Group A and Group B do you think are favourites to make it to the Super 12, aka Group 1 and 2?
Group A, you have Sri Lanka, Ireland, Namibia, Netherlands. Now, Sri Lanka, they've been champions once in 2014 in T20 format, but you've seen a bit of a downside in their cricket. They are trying to revive cricket, and they are a good side, especially in these conditions. A new captain, the spinners, especially Hasaranga, Chandimal, they're going to be the key. The top order batsman Kusal Pereira is back on the side. So Sri Lanka's start off favorite in Group A doesn't mean that they may not be surprised by some opponent, but yeah, probably 1 or 2 is what they would end at Group A, because Ireland and Netherlands could give them a good fight. And actually, Ireland versus Netherlands game is going to decide who could be the second one there. Ireland has played good cricket, and Ireland, Netherlands have players who play a lot of domestic cricket in the UK. Ireland recently had South Africa visit them, though the T20 was not that good for them. But they have been in UAE now for long. They played a series against UAE, so they are doing well to prepare for these conditions. And Netherlands is coming with a lot of veterans back in the side. They have a couple of them who have played even in the IPL. Your Ryan ten Gonsen, he's played in IPL. They have Vander Merwe, who's playing a lot of T20 around. So, but I would still go for Ireland, and Netherlands may just be the one to give them a fight. Namibia, I think they'll struggle. So Sri Lanka, Ireland are my 2 for Group A. Group B, Bangladesh, I think they will top. And that's the other very interesting point. The topper of Group B goes in the Group 2, where India, Pakistan, Afghanistan are. So you can say a kind of a mini Asia Cup happening there. And Bangladesh in these conditions are very dangerous, the spinners. So Bangladesh favorites for Group B, and Oman, the host, another Asian country, can do well and surprise Scotland. Though Scotland is again going with a lot of senior players who played 2016. They have Jonathan Trott as batting coach, so they are focusing on the batting against the Asian spinners. Bangladesh, Oman, I would go as favorites in Group B.
The first game tomorrow is Oman versus Papua New Guinea. Who do you predict to win and why?
Oman, yeah, at home, so excited to get an opportunity to host this qualifiers. They were never on the radar initially because this is an Indian event, BCCI event to be played in India, and then due to COVID had to be moved to UAE, and then because of IPL, UAE would have not been ready, so Oman gets in. So they're definitely excited. They played some good cricket in the last 1 year. A lot of expat players from India, Pakistan, where cricket is very popular. So Oman start favorite. Papua New Guinea is new. They for them there's nothing to lose. They will themselves be excited to go and perform and prove themselves on a world platform. But Oman start off favorite tomorrow.
And on to the second game tomorrow, Bangladesh versus Scotland. Is it possible for Scotland to win? And if they did it, how would it happen?
Yeah, they'll have to bat well. That's the reason they have so many seniors back in the side. Captain Cosder himself, Barrington is there. Yeah, very important for Scotland to bat well against Bangladesh. Yes, Bangladesh start favorite. Bangladesh lost to Ireland in a practice game. They lost to Sri Lanka in a practice game. But yeah, they were resting a couple of players before they really get into the best playing 11. But Scotland will have to bat well. They'll have to get used to the conditions well. What we have seen, how the conditions have been in the IPL. The over 7 to over 15 actually play a very crucial role for a batter to set and play a long inning. Most of the teams lost out because their openers, one of them was getting out in that middle phase, and then a new player struggles. So that is what Scotland needs to take in these conditions, play the spinners well, get someone who would play deep and play long. That would be the most important aspect for them to compete Bangladesh.
Monday's first game will be Ireland versus the Netherlands. I heard you mentioning them earlier. These two teams can both cause upsets in the shorter format. How do you think this match will go, and who do you think will win and why?
It would be great if we see first super over in a qualifier, because that's how close these two teams are to each other.
Yeah.
That's going to be very, very competitive. Netherlands, they have few players who can, as I mentioned, that they are playing a lot of global cricket around in the T20 circuit in various countries. So the conditions is something which they would focus on. They have a couple of them who have played IPL in India. They would share that experience of how these conditions would play in the Oman and UAE.
Let's get straight into the domestic cricket now. And in the WBBL on Thursday night, the Sixers beat the Stars by 6 wickets. And today we have a double header on, with the Scorchers also playing tomorrow morning. In the One Day Cup, Tasmania have beaten Western Australia by 4 wickets. Jordan Silk led Tasmania, hitting a nice 90 runs. Ben McDermott also hit a balanced 57 in the run chase. It was a hot day in Perth. Tasmania played very well, and they had a very balanced side. They worked in teamwork. Yes, for WA, Ashton Turner got 100, but the teamwork was applied. Let's get straight into the cricket questions now.
There is a common opinion around that one-day cricket will become less popular because it used to be the shortest international format, and now there are T20s and even T10s to some degree. What is your take on this?
It needs to evolve. ICC took very long to get in a World Test Championship. It was something which they felt already as a threat way back in 2011, 2012, when T20 World Cup was already, into the third edition. IPL was a super hit. They took long to revive Test Championship and come out with a format which is building interest. One thing good, Test cricket is building interest all over again. And people are not only going to watch, people are also watching a lot on television. I think ODIs will face that phase, but it would be good if ICC quickly looks at how to revive ODIs if it is going down in popularity. T20 should be the ultimate format, and they shouldn't be exploring further. You have a T10, you have hundreds coming in. It may just dilute the quality of the game. So that is something which they need to be cognizant about. and ensure that ODI and T20 are getting right exposure. Rather, even in ODI, they've got a point format to qualify for the next World Cup. So there is an objective now coming for the series. Otherwise it was just a bilateral series. Now a point system is giving some objective of why you're playing it. I think that is something which is good being done, and I think ODI would still maintain some kind of popularity. It's only what the players would be. You may see some changes even in the ODI and a T20 format kind of players.
Which rising star cricketers are the most exciting in this T20 World Cup, and why?
Tough one. There could be many. We saw a very rough patch for most of the players playing for India, selected for India. Otherwise, Ishan Kishan is very exciting. But Pakistan opening with Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan is going to be very exciting. Mohammad Rizwan in the last 6 months has been phenomenal in T20 format. Even in England, he was scoring good, though they lost the series. Against South Africa, when South Africa visited Pakistan, he did very well. So that's an exciting pair, and Pakistan would rely a lot on their start. And I think Mohammad Rizwan is one player to watch out for, because it's a world platform for him to show his talent. And Ishan Kishan, India. There could be a couple of youngsters. Hasaranga from Sri Lanka could just be one of the great stars in this World Cup with his spin bowling. So very tough to pick up one. Yeah.
But let's move on to India's World Cup squad. And, well, did India pick the right players as such? Do you reckon they picked the right squad? Which 11 players would you pick if you could choose like the team?
Ethan, because we saw the second phase of IPL in the same conditions, we do feel a bit concerned looking at those who are not in the squad performing so well. But the squad was something similar to when England toured India. The T20 squad that was picked to play England, more or less the squad is the same. The squad is basis how they performed few months earlier in the domestic circuit and the IPL before that. But in this phase of IPL is where few of the players have failed. So Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar, who you can say probably are the two best now in T20 in India, they have struggled, but the last game against Hyderabad, they scored big. Hardik Pandya could be the one. I would say if he's not bowling, he shouldn't have made it to the side. So, but again, it's similar. Is Andre Russell fit to bowl? We don't know. He can't play as a batter. Hardik Pandya can't bowl, cannot play as a batter. So every team, Stoinis, if he can't bowl, he can't just play as a batter. So these are few of the players. So in India side, I would have liked to see Ruturaj Gaikwad make it to the side. 600 plus runs in IPL is not a small effort. Out of the 600, 400 plus he got in this leg in UAE. But I won't make many changes. One or two, they've already got Shardul Thakur in. I think he's more a backup for Hardik Pandya. But more or less, I think the side still looks good, barring one or two players who could have made it. Rahul Chahar did so well in the India leg of IPL as a leg spinner. That's why he was picked. But in the second leg, he didn't take wickets. Whereas Yuzvendra Chahal did well. So it's very, very tough to, just look at few games, few days, and then make so many changes. So I think, but I think Hardik Pandya should be the one who should have not made to the side.
Sometimes just players just aren't fit enough after that injury. Speaking of, the interesting thing about Rising Star is, well, he's not really a Rising Star anymore, but this is India's first T20 World Cup, or first World Cup at all, without Dhoni. So they're going to be having Rishabh Pant as the wicketkeeper in the World Cup. Now, I think he's a very good attacking player. He's probably a perfect replacement for Dhoni. He's not quite as good as Dhoni, but he's got similar features in a way that he's not really geared, though. Dhoni has good gears in his innings, but Rishabh Pant is a very good attacking player. So it's slightly different, but then similar at the same time. And they're both wicket keepers. But how do you reckon Rishabh Pant will go this World Cup?
I would have felt very confident if Delhi would have gone on to at least reach the final in the IPL. Looking at Rishabh Pant's batting, now he hasn't finished games for Delhi. That is a concern. Whereas Dhoni was known as a good finisher in T20. Yes, Rishabh Pant would add value to the side. There could be few very, very quick runs he would get. But Rishabh Pant, the finisher, is what I would like to see. And it will be very, very close to watch that. What if he fails in the first two games? Would it be KL Rahul keeping? But I don't think Rishabh Pant would be dropped. But we need to see Rishabh Pant, the finisher. That's the key. He has the game in him. If you ask me, he's good with white ball. Test cricket, he has been successful getting wins for India, but we need to see that finisher in T20 format.
We're going to move on to England's World Cup squad. Now, England have a squad of 14 with Owen Morgan as captain. There is no Joe Root on this side. They've also picked Tymor Mills as a bowler, which is an interesting choice. What do you make of this English squad?
They definitely start as one of the favorites. They are brilliant, very attacking batting lineup. They play white ball in the similar manner, whether it is 50 overs or 20 overs or what we saw in the hundreds. But the conditions is what will they that aggression will suit these conditions. Livingstone struggled in the second leg of IPL. He was the most valuable player in 100. David Malan opted out from the second leg, but he is dangerous at number 3. Jason Roy and Bairstow would be the most important ones for them to give those starts in the power play. Morgan has struggled entire IPL, entire 5-match series against India in these conditions. Morgan actually has struggled. So there are those small loopholes in England that the opposition can get an opportunity with. Ben Stokes, I would say he would be missed. I wouldn't say Archer is more of an issue if he's not playing, but Ben Stokes, because he's a good finisher, and it's the same. If Hardik Pandya can't bowl, it becomes an issue. Ben Stokes, an all-rounder, bowling and batting, that adds value to England. But the new bowler Mills, the left armer, he's got very good variety, and I think he will do very well in these conditions. Sam Curran, unfortunately, has been ruled out, but it is good they named Mills, because you have a left arm bowler in Mills. Sam Curran would add a little better with the bat. Chris Wokes would be another player to watch out for England. But yeah, there are certain loopholes which England may struggle with, and Ben Stokes' absence.
Wonderful having you on. You've done amazing, and thank you so much for watching, viewers, and enjoy your day, I guess. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share your thoughts in the comment, and have a look into some of the commentary and work Naresh has been doing. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Thanks, Ethan.